Join me as I take on the challenge of mastering a brand new melody in just one day. Can I channel my inner music guru and make it sound amazing? When it comes to music, melody is arguably the most important element that grabs our attention and sticks with us long after the song is over. A great melody has the power to evoke emotions, create connections, and leave a lasting impression. And yet, mastering melody is an art that many musicians and producers struggle with, including myself. But what if I told you that with a few simple techniques and tips, you can take your melody game to the next level and elevate your music to new heights? We've all been there, staring at a blank sheet of paper or an empty DAW project, trying to come up with a melody that's catchy, memorable, and unique. But somehow, it just feels like we're stuck in a rut, churning out the same old ideas that fail to inspire us or our listeners. We might spend hours tweaking and adjusting, only to end up with something that sounds mediocre at best. It's frustrating, demotivating, and can even make us question our abilities as musicians. But trust me, you're not alone. Even the pros face this challenge, and it's exactly what we're going to tackle today. I think what makes it even harder is that we put so much pressure on ourselves to create something original and groundbreaking. We feel like we need to reinvent the wheel, come up with something completely new and innovative, and that's just not how creativity works. In reality, most melodies are built upon existing ideas, patterns, and structures, and it's how we execute and combine those elements that makes all the difference. So, let's take a step back, relax, and approach melody creation with a fresh perspective. The truth is, creating a great melody is not rocket science, and it's definitely not something that only a select few can do. With the right mindset, techniques, and practice, anyone can craft melodies that resonate with listeners and leave a lasting impact. Let's dive into some practical tips and techniques that can help you take your melody game to the next level. One of the most important things to remember is that melody is closely tied to rhythm, and using rhythm patterns can help create a sense of tension and release that keeps listeners engaged. Next, let's talk about scales. Understanding how to use scales and modes can give you a wealth of melodic ideas and possibilities. And finally, chord progressions. Using chord progressions as a foundation for your melody can add depth, complexity, and emotional resonance to your music. For example, let's say you're working with a simple chord progression like C, G, AM, F. You can use this progression as a starting point and add your own melodic ideas on top. You can experiment with different rhythms, arpeggios, or even use the chord tones themselves as melodic material. The key is to find a balance between simplicity and complexity, and to always keep the listener's ear in mind. Another technique that can help you create more memorable melodies is to use repetition and variation. Repeat a melodic idea, and then vary it by changing the rhythm, pitch, or contour. This creates a sense of familiarity and continuity, while also keeping the listener engaged and interested. And remember, it's all about experimentation and iteration. Don't be afraid to try out new ideas, and don't be too hard on yourself if they don't work out initially. I want to share with you a breakthrough moment that completely changed the way I approach melody creation. I was working on a track, and I was stuck. Everything I came up with sounded dull and uninspired. Then, I stumbled upon this idea of using melodic motifs, small, recurring melodic patterns that can be repeated, varied, and developed throughout the track. This simple concept opened up a whole new world of possibilities for me, and it completely transformed the way I approach melody creation. When you start using melodic motifs, you'll be amazed at how they can add depth, complexity, and coherence to your music. It's like having a set of building blocks that you can use to create something truly unique and memorable. And the best part is, it's not just limited to melodies. You can use this technique in your harmonies, bass lines, and even drum patterns. In today's video, we've covered a lot of ground, from the importance of melody in music to practical techniques for crafting catchy and memorable melodies. Remember, mastering melody is all about experimentation, practice, and patience. Don't be too hard on yourself if it doesn't come together right away. Just keep working at it, and you'll be amazed at the results you can achieve. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've learned something new and valuable today. If you have any questions or experiences you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my next video on music theory, where we'll dive deeper into the world of harmony and chord progressions.